well, welcome everybody to the Time Doctor Demo Day. We're really excited to have you. I'm joined today by my partner, Hime. So, hello, Hime. She's,
Hello.
uh, she's the brains of the operation. She's going to do the fun part, show the software. But if you haven't been part of one of our demo days, this is a really fun, informative, but interactive way to see what we're up to here at Time Doctor. But most importantly, see what the software actually looks like and how it works in real world situations. So a couple of things I want to make sure we cover. One is just kind of share some of those real world challenges that we're hearing from the market and managers, companies that we work with every day to kind of set up what we show you inside of the demo itself, because we think it's really important, not just to show you beautiful software, but help you understand how it could actually help all of you and what you're up against. And part of that is also sharing some case studies and outcomes and making sure that not only do you understand the power of the software, but you understand the powerful outcomes it can generate as well. So we'll try and sprinkle all this in, have a little bit of fun, and show you around the tool as well. So speaking of fun, well, maybe not so much fun, are all the challenges that you all have. And Hime, I know you have these conversations every single day with potential new customers for Time Doctor. And there's no shortage of them, especially when you're dealing with distributed teams. And it ranges on everything from just the old mouse clickers and time tracking and turnover that's happening to driving productivity and performance of these teams across all these different parts of the organization, what tools we're using, how we're hiring and onboarding people. And then we're hearing a lot more now about the pressures in the market and costs and how do you stay competitive. And all of these make for a really challenging environment for managers and when they're managing distributed teams, which we know is a really effective way. So it comes down to three fundamental questions that we hear from managers, regardless of the company size, even regardless of where their teams are working. And one is, are my teams working? They just want to know the fundamentals and make sure their teams are showing up and doing the key things operationally each day. The second question, which kind of goes a layer deeper, is now that I know they're working, are they working efficiently? And sometimes we have to go by gut. We're not really sure how well they're working or how they're working at all. The third question, which starts to go broader the whole organization, is understanding, is my organization effective, right? So it's one thing to know if individuals are working. It's a second to understand how they are working. But what if we can understand that at a true organizational level across people and processes and technology? And that's what we're going to dig into here at Time Doctor. So as a workforce analytics platform, that's what we do. We're surfacing these insights at three different levels to help managers get what they need to improve team productivity and team performance wherever they're working and however they're working. So we look at this in terms of three levels of insights. One are the team or the individual insights. And those are your fundamental integrated time tracking, right? Are my teams working? How long are they working? We'll show you what that looks like. And that's been the foundation of Time Doctor for a very long time. But the next layer of insights gets into the management side. And we've built a really powerful set of workforce management tools to help make the manager's job a little bit easier, but also help them do a better job supporting their distributed team members all over the world. But where it gets really exciting and we see really deep, meaningful impact, particularly to the bottom line, are the insights you can now apply to the entire company. How is our company working? What tools are we using? How are we using them? How are we optimizing our labor and our software and other things that all affect the very bottom line? So what we're doing here is in a single platform, we're serving this data up in an actionable way for the company, the executives, and the leaders right out on the line. So what does that look like? The first level, team insights. This is your fundamental time tracking, right? We talked about, are my teams working? So we're able to provide things like screenshots and tracking actual hours worked and even logging that against projects and tasks and send summaries of what that activity looked like for a manager. So a lot of things that managers historically maybe aren't sure about or they're nervous about. These are the things that are keeping them up at night. But not only does it not have to keep you up at night, it actually can really make a meaningful impact for the team. So time tracking can do just a lot more than giving you a report. As we saw with one of our customers, Smart Eyeglasses, they saw not only a dramatic reduction, 75% in terms of their compliance issues. So they got better at what they were doing, but they saw a threefold increase in the performance across their teams after implementing Time Doctor. So that goes a lot further than just counting hours. But let's take that to the management side. So the manager insights using our workforce management tools. So Summit, we realized that there's a lot of expectations, a lot of responsibilities on managers of distributed teams. So part of the job here is just to serve the data they need to make their fundamental operational job easier, right? Tracking breaks, tracking attendance, payroll, even time tracking potentially for customers you're billing to. So that's the first half. But the other half is, how do you help them be better managers? How to help them get their teams to do their best work, give them the tools to coach them. So scheduling and balancing workloads and spotting issues where work-life balance or productivity issues might be surfacing. So we want to give them those tools at their fingertips to go a layer deeper. And when you do that, you see companies like Second Office, who has huge distributed teams, driving massive productivity gains by 20% in this particular case. So really meaningful impact that can be made by your managers when they have the right data to work from. But then we go to the company insights. And this is where it starts to get exciting, because there's a very leveraged effect here. Not only now do you have data that provides visibility across your entire organization, but you're looking for opportunities to make improvements that affect the entire organization. So it could be a productivity bottleneck, or seeing what particular team or department operates better than others, and how do we bake those into benchmarks and best practices, or optimizing labor costs and the way we're scheduling, or accurate billing. But we serve all this up in an executive dashboard that gives you meaningful analytics in a way that you can action and really hit a bottom line savings. And that can range everything from just improving process and unlocking bottlenecks to an example like we see with our customer at Persona, where they actually reduced the software license cost by 70%. So by watching how their teams were working, they saw that they were not using some of the software, and we know that can be expensive in a company that size, and they saved six figures just by putting Time Doctor in place to monitor that. So as you can see, there's multiple layers of insights. There's the at the team level insights, right? Tracking, is my team working? Understanding the core time tracking elements. The manager insights, how is my team working? How do I get them more effective? And the company insights help us make sure that our entire organization is both efficient and effective. But much more exciting to look at the real software itself. So Hime, welcome. Thank you for hanging out here, but we're going to let you do the fun part of the demo here. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on over to you.
Thank you, Brian. Hello, everyone. My name is Hime, and I'm an account executive here at Time Doctor. Let me start sharing a little bit more about what most of the time our clients are coming to us to learn how we are doing and helping them achieve different goals that they are that as companies they're trying to achieve. First of all, Brian was mentioning about the first level, which is the standard hours tracking. How can I ensure that my team is working the right amount of hours during the day, during the week? Things like from a time tracking standpoint. So with Time Doctor, you have the ability to go and see the main dashboard and validate, for example, how many hours the entire company has been dedicated to work-related things. But most important, in real time, you are able to validate, for example, how many hours per team member they've delivered, allowing you to understand if your team is working the expected amount of hours that you have projected as a company, or if they're aligning into the work schedules that you have established that you need them to be online. In addition, Time Doctor allows you to go into more granularity for you to get the attendance report. This attendance report allows you to see on a day-to-day basis, because you are able to preload the work schedules on the Time Doctor account. And based on this, Time Doctor will automatically generate you an attendance report so you can have the confirmation on if a team member was absent, partially absent, or if they were a little late than expected. You'll be able to see that right away, helping you and helping organizations right now, making sure that they are on top on different behaviors that require attention. For example, most important when you are working with different clients, that you need the employees to be delivering the right amount of hours that have been agreed. This is a great way for you to validate that those hours are being delivered accordingly. Plus, if there was something that happened on the employee side, it helps you. This helps you strengthen the relationship that you have with your employee, especially in a global distributed team. This is a great way for you to continue staying connected and on top of the different things that your employee might require support from the manager's perspective. Most important, Time Doctor from a team level insights allows you to see in real time the activity levels that they might have at the connection periods that your employees also have during working hours. This allows you to get those best practices from what your top performer is doing to be the top performer. This allows you to positive reinforce those great skills that they are currently applying so they continue doing something that's working for them. And also this helps you build up the morale from your team members by passing those best practices to team members that might be struggling a bit. So we've seen from a team standpoint how you are able to utilize the Time Doctor insights. We're going to validate now how you're able to see from the second layer, which is the manager insights, information that you'll be able to find valuable. First of all, how can I ensure, and this is one of the most common questions that I get asked. You might believe that it's mainly on the time tracking piece, but it's not. Right now, I'm noticing that every organization is shifting into how to optimize their workspaces. How I'm making sure that my teams are not are balancing their workloads accordingly. Probably my team is being overworked, and I need to have that visibility. If that's something that right now you're struggling a bit, Time Doctor can help you with the work-life balance metrics. The work-life balance metrics allows you to see how often team members are working outside their scheduled hours, or if they're working during the weekends when they shouldn't, or if they're working without any pauses during the day or breaks during the day. Time Doctor will be able to adjust, will be at a point every time that something happens. So you'll be able to validate who is a team member that is struggling balancing their work-life balance and that could be potentially burning out. You know, burnouts most of the time tend to end into the employee resigning and you having to backfill that position. And that could mean that you're investing time and also money on trying to hire someone new while you could like take care of your people by understanding how they're balancing their workloads. In addition, Time Doctor helps you with the timer report, being able to see what's working for your team. Sometimes it happens, and I had companies that in the developer side, they're interested in making sure that regardless of the hours that the team members connect, they're meeting at least 8 hours per day. So the timeline report allows you to understand what works for your team, you know, for them to be delivering the sprint, be able to reach the project or the goal that you have established for them by understanding how many pauses during the day are necessary for him or for them to remain focused during the day. How many pauses are they taking? Are they related to maybe distractions that they might have at home? Or if there's something else that they are struggling regarding the way that they are like efficiently working, because maybe you can discover with this information on the timeline report that there's something that is taking a little longer than expected when they are trying to accomplish a workflow. This has helped different organizations being able to get those insights they need in order for them to make adjustments on the internal workflows or identify if there's something that might be roadblocking the sprint that someone is trying to complete, or the end goal is being delayed due to certain tools or applications that are not being properly used.
Hime, this is one of my sorry to interrupt. This is one of my favorite reports. I would imagine for managers that we hear all the time are worried about what's my team doing. This is information they've never had before. Typically, is that right?
That's right, and especially because with Time Doctor, you can actually see based on the interval where the teams are spending most of their time in. With the screenshots, when you are on site, you have the ability to do a side by side with your team members. But in a globally distributed environment, and when you have team members working from home or in a hybrid work model, screenshots become your ally. The reason why, because it helps you build the context as to how my team is investing their time versus is there anything regarding the workflows that they're following that might require adjustments, or is there a better way of accomplishing something? So with that in mind, this is the one of the most light reports from the timeline from Time Doctor, because it helps build the context that managers need in order for them to effectively lead their team members.
That's great.
Another thing is that going into the other option is, for example, the activity summary report is allowing different managers delegate in a more efficient way. It's strongly recommended, and this is something that I always recommend my customers. Make sure that the activity summary report is checked or compared with team members that belong to the same group or perform similar job functions. Because idle minutes is not something wrong. We don't promote that here. On the contrary, we help you build what's the healthy benchmark in activity levels that your team should have based on the role, the department that they belong to. So, for example, right now we're checking the product specialist team, and their activity levels range between a 50% and a 31%. So we could say that the healthy average of inactive times here is between a 40%. Everyone above that 40% will be very interesting for us to learn a little bit more why they're idling more compared to the rest of the team. And this is where managers find real value about. Because let's say I have a new task that I need to delegate. Instead of me relying on someone whose inactivity is below the average that I had found out, I'll be delegating the new workload or the new task on team members that have a little bit more of inactive times during the month or the date range that I'm checking. So this allows me to efficiently delegate the new workload and balance the workload between the team members that are part of my team. And everyone is getting assigned the right amount of workload, and I'm preventing and helping them burn out. From a company perspective, the activity summary report allows you to understand seasonalities. There's several companies that are utilizing this activity summary report in order for them to identify when seasonality hits or hiring needs. The reason why, or the way that they're working on this activity summary to accomplish that is since Time Doctor allows you to go back up to 1 year of historical data, they are able to analyze how the activity levels have been behaving month over month. And this allows them to see, okay, so right now I'm able to see that my team is delivering the same amount of hours, but their activity levels, their idlements are starting to decrease, but workloads are increasing. So this is a great way for you to justify that it might be necessary for you to build hiring processes because maybe you need to allocate more resources in order for you to be able to work on the new workload that you're receiving. On the other hand, if you start noticing that workloads are decreasing, the idle minutes start increasing compared to other months, that's a great way for you to identify that seasonality is getting nearby. So that's why you need to also prepare your staffing plans accordingly. And this helps you decide on hiring new team members based on numbers and not on a sentiment. Does that sound right to you, Brian? Would you be?
It does. It
Have you
takes
heard about this?
Yeah, what I hear is it takes the guesswork out, right? The things that they thought they
Exactly.
knew, or they kind of wondered, or they had to hopefully make a decision on. Now they have actual data, and the teams really appreciate that because it helps everybody.
Absolutely. And going back into what you mentioned about Personative, who were able to reduce licensing by 7 figures, that can also be accomplished with our web and app usage report. Again, all the reporting piece within Time Doctor can be analyzed by a user, by a team, or company level insights. So, for example, I would like to get a list of the most used applications during the month for the entire company. So I'll be able to validate that and be able to say, okay, maybe I'm paying for 100 licenses for HubSpot, which is a CRM. And I'm able to see that only like 10% of those licenses are being used. And I'm able to actually see who are the active users that are constantly accessing to CRM. So this is how you can make profitable decisions on how to reduce cost and see the return of your investment in lesser time by reducing the licenses that you're no longer utilizing or you don't need at all. Plus, Time Doctor has is always innovative, and we're looking a lot into learning new ways on making things easier for our customers. With this activity, with this web and app usage report, you're able to adjust ratings. And from the moment that you deploy the application, our system will take care of automatically assigning a productivity rating and say this tool is work related or not. But you will also have a word on it. So you can customize your Time Doctor dashboard based on the business case and your use case accordingly. So let's say Time Doctor identifies that someone accesses HubSpot on your team. It will probably initially will mark it as productive, but that's not a tool that you use on your end. So you'll be able to let the system know that for your use case, HubSpot will be a non-work related thing. And that will allow you to see the productivity levels for your team based on the actual tools that they should be accessing on a day-to-day basis and what's not work related that they have been taking a look at. So for now, I think that's a great way for me to summarize in a nutshell what
No,
Time Doctor can help you accomplish.
it,
So I'm
it's a
going to
great
pass it over
summary.
to.
Yeah, it's a great summary. One of the things I love as we transition back here is that last dashboard's a good example of how we get a cross section of the different functions for our customers. So as I talk to our customers, things like this that are meaningful for HR, for IT, and for operations, all in one data set, right? And this is just one example of one actionable insight you can get from the time inside of Time Doctor. So that's really cool to see. So thank you so much for the walkthrough, Hime. You always make it look so easy. And we'll wrap things up here in just a moment. Let me get my slides back up and we're off and running. So as you saw so eloquently there, Hime walked us through it, obviously just scratching the surface. But what we're really trying to show you is that beyond tracking time, we're giving you levels of insight that really can make an impact for your team members, for your managers and leaders, and obviously for the executives and for the company. So at the team level, understanding, are they working? What type of activity are they doing? And are there spots where I can unlock productivity? At the management level, we want to make things faster and easier for your hardworking line managers, but we also want to help them help the team members, right? We want to help the teams do their best work. There's a lot of different ways Hime showed that we do that, from scheduling to work-life balance tracking and a lot more. But ultimately, this all rolls up to the company, and having this level of data and insight allows us to optimize software costs, labor costs. Obviously, we talked about scheduling, billing, and so much more that you can. And you can imagine with this level of data, it's just the beginning, and there's a lot more exciting things to come, as she hinted there. But that's not for today. So for now, with what you've seen, we've been doing this a long time, more than a decade, more than 260,000 users around the world, leading companies of all shapes and sizes and industries. But the common thing you see, it's the same data set. It's the same platform for every single one of our customers. It's really important that we're a proven system at scale for all of the solutions that you've seen today. And we've proven it with customers. We've shared a couple of the great outcomes and stories, but we've also proven it in the marketplace. So we encourage you to go look at us on G2 or Capterra or any of the review sites where you'll see raving reviews there, in addition to the work and investment we've done at an industry level to ensure security and privacy controls for all of our customers around the world. So with that, we would love an opportunity to chat more with you and set up some time with someone like Hime to walk you through at a one-on-one level what Time Doctor might look like for your organization. But we hope this was a helpful flyby. Hime, thank you. Great job. And thank all of you for joining us today. We'll look forward to seeing you and talking to you soon.